Welcome to another edition of the Insider Mailbag. I'm Jared Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. The first one comes from Anonymous, who wants to know, does Steele and Anderson, or with them coming back on the right side of the line, does it make enough of a difference for Tech to control the game with the running backs, or do they rely on Bowman? Do you think Tech's going to rely on Bowman to get the job done this week?
Yeah, I mean, it should make a difference, but I don't think it's going to be, you're starting at kind of a low base right now as far as I'm concerned. In terms of controlling the line of scrimmage against a Power 5 team. So those two are going to help out a little bit, but no, I do not believe that it will be enough that Tech can control the line of scrimmage and just pound Arizona. I think it's still going to be mainly through the air and Bowman.
Yeah, as far as what I understand with Steele's health, I don't know if we'll see him 100% again in the Texas Tech uniform. I think it's going to be one of those where he's going to be injured for the season. I think he's going to be gutting it out because he's that kind of dude. You know, he's a tough guy who wants to play. I think Jack Anderson, though, he's healthier, I think, right now than he was last year, let's put it that way. So I think that will help. But like you said, for one, Arizona's pass defense is terrible. I mean, like Charles Barkley, terrible. So they're giving up over 400 yards a game. They like to go man a lot. I really expect every H receiver basically on the roster who's going to play to have a really good game. And I think TJ Vasher, if they decide to single up Vasher, kind of like UTEP did some, then I think he's going to have another really big night. So I think Bowman, it goes over 400 yards for sure, 3 or 4 touchdowns. The question's going to be, does he take care of the ball? Does he also throw interceptions or not? All right, next question comes from Red Raider KA, who wants to know, he says, through 2 games, what player has been we've been the most impressed with, and what player has been the most disappointing?
Well, I think most impressive is, kind of got to go with the obvious guy, and that's Jordan Brooks. Basically, he doesn't make mistakes, he doesn't bust, and he makes the plays that he's supposed to make. He's made a bunch of them, and so he's just been a solid rock there at linebacker. And of course, you have to talk a little bit about Broderick Washington too, who's also done some great stuff up there, playing at the same level as Jordan Brooks, but it just doesn't show up as much with the defensive linemen. They don't get the numbers and the stats, unless you're an edge rusher or something like that. So, but I think my most impressive player right now is Jordan Brooks. Now, as far as disappointment goes, hate to do this, Jared, but Eric Ezukanma.
No, he's mine too, for sure.
Yeah.
Production is just not there.
Production is not there, and if it doesn't improve, then I think R.J. Turner is going to start taking over that position. So that's a competition at that position right now, and somebody's got to pick it up.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'll throw Dalton Rigdon in there as a guy who's impressed me the most. He's been really good, and I think he's just starting to realize just how good he can be and what he can do at that position in this offense. So I think Dalton Rigdon, he looks like he may have the type of season we were expecting from Mannix. Not that Mannix isn't going to have his say as well, but I think Rigdon right now is the feature guy at H. Juicebox wants to know, what would we like to see more of and less of against Arizona?
More turnovers generated by the defense, like one. But again, that's not really meant as any sort of an insult or anything, because the defense is playing great. But every defense wants to generate turnovers. So I think that's what you're wanting to see more of, is more turnovers. As far as less of, it's really difficult to say. I think with Bowman, I would like to see fewer errant passes on deep routes.
Yeah, I was going to say more accuracy. Because he left some big plays out there really both weeks.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're missing, if you're hitting those deep shots, you go from being a pretty good offensive performance to a great offensive performance. So you're looking at winning by 50 or something rather than 30 something.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal, and hopefully he gets that squared away. Coach Yost says that it's uncharacteristic for him to be missing those passes.
Right.
So we'll just see what happens.
And then I'll say less of basically being one step away from getting to the sack. You said you want to get more turnovers. They've been some of it's been alignment, according to Coach Patterson, the defensive coordinator, and some of it's just been not getting there. Honestly, just not executing. But it's been there. When they basically rush 7 and they go all out pretty much, there's always a guy free. That guy should be able to get there to the quarterback. I mean, especially on some of these kind of like not necessarily drops, but like 3 counts, as far as having enough time for guys to get from point A to point B, get home, get the sack, or force a turnover. Texas Tech Austin asks over or under 85 plays for Tech against Arizona, and over or under 350 yards of offense for Arizona. I'll go ahead and say over the offense for Arizona. I mean, they're going to get 350 yards. What do you think about the plays then?
Yeah, I think it's going to be over a little bit too. They're averaging about 87 per game right now. And I've got a feeling that you're going to see more tempo against Arizona.
Okay.
They haven't really needed it that much these first 2 games, but when they've used it, it's been very effective. They may need it a little bit more against Arizona, so I'm looking for more of that tempo and probably pushing 90 plays on offense.
What I've come to realize from this staff is that they're not as much about tempo, whether it be running tempo or defending tempo, as they are switching it up. Think about, like Joe, for a basketball analogy, like a point guard who has great change of speed, change of direction. That's really what they value. They think that teams that switch it up, that will go be methodical, and then all of a sudden go tempo, perhaps after a first down, are the ones that are the most effective in using tempo. So, a lot of times I think as fans we want it like black or white. Like, are they going to go fast or are they going to go slow? And the truth is usually they're going to mix it up. So I look for them to go tempo more, like you said, than they have in the first 2 games. But I don't think it's going to be all tempo all the time. All right, it's a good one from our friend Tech Freak up in Minneapolis. He wants to know, do we like the rugby style kickers? He says he doesn't. I don't either. I find it confusing. I can't tell what's a good kick anymore almost. At first I'm like, oh, that's a terrible kick, and then it bounces forever and there's no return. It ends up being an okay kick. You're like, well, I'm confused. I prefer, like Austin McNamara. He'll just boom it, has hang time for 50 seconds or however long it's, and a good kick when you see it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, from an aesthetic standpoint, it's awful. It's an ugly thing to see that rugby punt, man. It just, and I believe that generally speaking, simplicity is a good policy, and you're just adding more moving parts when you do that. I mean, you got a guy who's, instead of just catch and kick, he's rolling out, and you've got to get his steps down, his footwork, and get the kickoff. And just like it's more difficult to throw on the run, you got to think it's more difficult to punt on the run. On top of that, you're closer to the sideline, so you have less room. I mean, it's easier to shank the ball out of bounds. I mean, to me, it just does not look like a good policy. I think some of these special teams coordinators are just trying to get too damn cute and outthink everybody and outthink themselves. And it's just, I think it's a phase, a fad that's going to pass out of our sight before too long.
Final question here. Raider Fan 01 wants to know, he says no turnovers, but much better tackling and converging on the ball so far in the first 2 games. Basically, what do we attribute that to, Joe?
Look, you got a new coaching staff and you got a new result. I mean, I don't believe that's a coincidence.
No, it's not.
That's what it comes down to, and whether they're de-emphasizing stripping the football or not, I don't know, maybe so. But the thing is, you got guys around the football. You got guys that are where they're supposed to be. They are executing, they're doing their jobs. And when you got more people around the football, I mean, that helps tackling right
Absolutely.
there. So you don't see that yardage after the run and so forth. I think this is the new scheme. These are the new coaches, and the guys are tackling better and overall playing better.
And Coach Wills literally said at one point in fall camp, they have to teach them how to tackle. And one of the things that I believe they brought in is this, speaking of rugby style of tackling. It's become prevalent in the NFL with some of the better defenses. Like the Seattle Seahawks are the first ones I remember to do that. I know the Cowboys have adopted some of those principles, and they've seen their defense go from mediocre bottom to middle to one of the best defenses in the NFL. So this rugby style that they've brought in, technique and emphasizing more wrapping up, less of the head involved, not only is safer, but it's also a better technique in terms of getting guys to the ground instead of letting guys get away and breaking tackles. So far it's worked. We'll see with the step up in competition against Arizona. This is going to be a pretty significant step up. And then there's a huge step up with Oklahoma, obviously, in Norman the following week. So first things first, Texas Tech at Arizona, 9:30 Central Time kickoff. Can't wait to see how it plays out. Great stuff from you as always, Mighty Joe. Thank y'all for watching, and until next time.